Well, I'm in this little bit of a darkness. It's like purple light. But as I was floating, I did see that I saw impressions of myself like smiling and in the light. And I was in a field where there was like grass flowing in the air. And I just saw myself smiling, and it was almost like a reflection of uh, what, like, to see, like, I've never really seen myself from that perspective and happy. I always see it from behind my eyes and happy. So it was a nice little journey that it took me on.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Um, do you know where that was?
It just was like snapshots. It was just of the current. I think it's of the current now, just seeing how far I've come, and I can see that I'm happy, and I'm moving towards that just state of being. So it's a nice refresher.
And would you like to explore more the space around you? Or maybe you would wanna call in the higher self and give you more guidance around that space where you're very happy.
No, I think that just calling the higher self, I think that, and to allow the higher self to answer the questions that we have. I think it was just a confirmation for where I'm going, and it was just a nice little reminder.
Yeah, and taking in consideration we have intention around new earth, that may be that future version of
That would be
yourself
great.
there.
Yeah.
Uh, so I would like right now to call in the higher levels and higher self and any guys that wants to come in and assist us with our questions. Is it possible?
Yes, we're here at this time.
Can I know who is here?
This is the higher self, and
Okay.
this is the collective as well.
Okay, thank you so much. So, can you please give me a little bit more information around the version of a Carrie that is happy and smiling? Is it something that is close by or in the future? Is it related to New Earth?
We're showing her that this is the where she is on the future, as far as embodying that light and embodying that freedom and that empowerment and the balance. And so we're just giving her confirmation that she is, all this inner work that she's done and the healing that she's done, that this is where this is going to be her state of being. And we wanted to show her, because rarely does she sees other people happy, and she sees that perspective for other people, but rarely does she from the outside in look at her own happiness and see herself smiling. She only experiences it. But when you look at yourself from an outside lens, it gives you a higher perspective for how you actually are. And so we wanted to help her kind of see herself as that state of happiness.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Is there anything else and any advice of her getting there, or just connecting, or just knowing it's enough?
The connecting and knowing is enough, but also just for her to be in that state of just for her to trying to, let's see, they're trying to push a message through. Let me relax a little bit more.
Okay.
For her to just be in love and enjoy, and just for her to just feel from that space, and to be in her heart. Oh, in such a place of her heart, because when you step out of your head and you're in your heart, you naturally just will align for that happiness and joy and higher vibration.
Thank you so much. And one of the main questions Carrie has is that if the new Earth is here now, can you give us more details what is happening? There's a lot of information and noise around this. Is the new Earth here or?
Here as in physically or time-wise, specifically?
Well, both.
Okay. So is in physically, no. As in time-wise, yes and no. They're showing me like physically it's not the same place. However, they're showing me that in order to like physically everything can be accessed from the same point. So if you're it's hard to explain what they're showing me. So if you are tuned into this physical place right now, you can automatically align with another place and attune your frequency to that and automatically be transported to that place in physical space. And so in our perspective, everything is physically can be accessed from the same point, but it doesn't exist at the same point. That's what they want to say. So you can stand somewhere, physically align yourself with another location and automatically attune to that frequency of that location, and you can automatically move to that area without actually changing, without actually really moving. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, go ahead.
Is this more aligning, tuning into a higher frequency and embodying it and bringing it here? Or are you actually referring to like somehow more or less like a teleportation? Or is it more like embodying that frequency in our bodies? Or is it more, what do you mean when you say that you can physically go there? It's like,
So yes, when you become a higher frequency and your body becomes attuned to a higher frequency, you can, it's like changing a television channel. You can be on in the middle of one scene, in the middle of a like a show that's going on, and then you attune yourself to that other scene, like changing a channel, and then the channel changes and now you're in the middle of that channel, and that's that show that's going on. And so that is a way that we are able to transport that you guys are not physically and spiritually, mentally able to do, but we are able to do that within our realm.
So this raises a few more questions. One is the Earth a higher frequency? Is the Earth attuned to new Earth, and the humans are not, but we can access that frequency? Or is still like Gaia or the Earth still needs to change its vibration as well?
So there are two versions. What we're showing is like when a cell splits. So you have a single cell. In order for a cell to create and to be creation and create new cells, it has to split into two cells. So both cells exist that originated from the original cell. And one of the cells holds and carries the vibration of third dimensional. One of the other cells holds and carries a higher dimensional, fifth dimensional, and higher. And so both cells are from the same original cell. And in order to access the fifth dimensional self, you have to align yourself within the fifth dimensional frequency. And that other frequency of energy will be left on the third dimensional cell. So both versions of Earth exist, but they are different in what you would say physical places.
Can you please repeat the last part?
So they are in, so since now from the original one cell that you had, you now have two cells. So
Yeah.
both, so you have the other cells exist on different physical
And
areas.
will that mean that if we are tuned more to a 3D frequency, we're going to be like somehow transported to the 3D world? And if we are tuned to the 5D, we're going to be somehow, we're going to quantum leap into fifth
Yes.
version? Okay.
But in the fifth dimensional, the third dimensional, energies can't exist there because they're too low of a density and it would drag the planet down. And so that's how the programming and the lower energy of feelings and chemicals and plastics and just all of those physical, emotional, all of those embodiments of things can't exist on the fifth dimensional world because it's too high of a vibration and there's too much polarity between the two energies.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And when it comes to the 3D world, there were some different views on this one. Is the 3D world, let's say, an inverted matrix, and is it going to evolve into a more balanced 3D material world, or is the 3D world something that is aimed to destruct itself at one point?
It will not destruct. It will not destruct. It will be revamped. It will be refurbished. So what it needs is time to heal. So once all once all beings are vacated from the third dimensional planet to whatever frequency they're going to, that it will need to heal. It needs time without stuff on it to heal, so it can be recreated into, it's like it needs time to heal and breathe in isolation so that it can still be a viable planet to do other projects on.
And will that mean being a more physical planet without all of the distortions and programs and fear?
Yes,
Or
there'll be a different overlay placed on it.
will they still be humans
No.
as we know them, or be okay? And then can you share more around the fifth dimensional version of the Earth? So one would be is part of our work to keep attuning to that frequency and maintain the intention until we manage to change more and embody our frequency, and also by changing our frequency, changing the frequency of the people around us? Or is this something that needs more time but is just accessible right now?
Yes, so that is the end goal, and that's the only frequency. Like the reason of being here is to master and ascend all the emotions and all the feelings that is embodied on Earth. Your goal is to master all of those human emotions and to gain what you would call enlightenment. However, there is so much programming that's on this third dimensional planet and on Earth. There's so much programming within the matrix that is where humanity has gotten tripped up and has gotten kind of enslaved to these cycles and what's going on Earth. And so we understand that there's going to be some healing when needed once going to the fifth dimensional planet. That's going to there's going to be healing that's needed and deprogramming. So we don't expect for all to be perfect. We just need to get it as perfect as possible that we can before we take anyone over to the fifth dimensional planet. And there are beings and there are species and there are they're all types that a lot of humanity who's passed on recently have gotten the clearing through the etheric realm, the ethereal realm, And then they've been seeded onto New Earth already.
What does that mean?
So when people pass here on Earth right now, when they pass, they get some cleansing in the angelic realm.
Oh.
And some of that programming removed that they had on Earth, and then they're seated in their new fifth dimensional embodiment.
So to understand it more, like right now, we are living on the third dimensional version, and there's some people who have passed on and had all the necessary clearing, and are starting to live and populate the fifth dimensional Earth. Is this
Yes.
correct? My understanding? Oh wow, okay. And around this process, is you said that when is there a timeline when everybody will need to go there?
Yes.
Can you give us more details around what are the plans? Like what are the timelines around moving there and moving the people from 3D to the fifth version, the fifth dimensional version of Earth?
Yes, because of the matrix and the overlay that's on the Earth right now. Like we said, people were enslaved and entrapped here within Earth. They couldn't karmically evolve because there were so many systems that were in place to keep them enslaved and trapped. So when this became like an evacuation mission, we needed, because what happened was Gaia wanted to ascend, she wanted to evolve, she wanted to go to fifth dimension, she was ready to evolve. And because of the programming that's in place, she wasn't able to do it with all the people on the planet and evolve in a natural state like they did in Lemuria when they went into inner Earth. When they went into inner Earth, they were able to go to the fifth dimension within Gaia, even though she didn't hold the third dimension, or she didn't hold the fifth dimensional frequency. She was a third dimensional planet, but they were naturally evolved. And so she was supposed to be able to naturally evolve as like that as well. But because of the overlay, she's not. She's kind of trapped in third dimensional. And so what she did was she split off, and that new cell that is now the fifth dimensional New Earth planet, her soul is able to evolve to there. And we had to evacuate humanity so that they could evacuate and go to New Earth where there aren't those matrix and those programmings. And so because it became a situation where we needed to help all humanity evolve, it became a time sensitive subject because it's now using resources from other dimensions, other galaxies, other planets that are here assisting at this time to help the evolution. So we're sending a lot of our energy, and we are working within the dimensions to help get humanity and all the beings within Earth and removed, and either going to the fifth dimensional planet. They're going to either go there, they're either going to go to their home planets. Some of them are going to go back to source and get healing there. And so there's a lot of different routes where people are being evacuated to, so that then now the old Earth can terraform, it can heal, and new souls can enter the Earth's shell and help it to like be replenished, and it's going to be used as something else in the future.
So what I understood from other sources and now is that at one point in the past, that was not so long ago, the whole humanity wanted to ascend as much as possible, and then the whole teams are supporting that transition. Is that true?
Yes.
And was that a change of plans from the initial plans where maybe less people would ascend?
All of everyone was supposed to ascend. So what was going to happen was naturally, like the energy of the sun, everything that's being sent off into old Earth was supposed to activate dormant DNA. It was supposed to clear out the dark energies. It was supposed to basically the sun and the earth and the frequencies of both working together in the moon. We're supposed to naturally evolve the planet to the fifth dimension with the people on it. Unfortunately, another planet had to be created, and it's more or less removing them from the old planet to the new planet now and evolving that way.
Wow, that's that's a lot. Meaning there's a lot of information right now where people are saying that new Earth is here, and but actually it's a new Earth completely now
Yes.
here available to us.
But yes, but for us, you could say it's here because just like we said, all you have to do is flip the channel and you're in that new
Yeah.
place.
And can you give us more information about the human DNA and what is it made of? Is it made of other species? Is it still being activated right now? Is there, and I think also related to this is how can we help, how move, like, how can we help this process? How can we help using less of other galaxies and other beings' energy and somehow make this transition smoother? What are the tools? Yes. Oh, sorry. These are enough questions for now.
So the DNA, what we're showing Carrie is it's like we're showing her like this light energy in each strand. And we're showing her what within the light energy is like an Akashic. And so the Akashic records of your physical, your spiritual, everything is written, and it's like a code, like it's a computer, like when you build codes within computer programs, like it's the codes that build the structures of every life you've lived, and including the physical skin, like the lineage of the genetics of the lineage of like your genetics of your family genetics is written into there too, back to the first lineage of where it started. So all of those, it's an Akashic, it's every information. And what happens is when that DNA went dormant, that you didn't have access to that Akashic. So that's the amnesic effect. And when so when all of the strands of DNA are activated, you actually, the amnesia is lifted. You have access to every life you've lived. You have access to every ancestor you have. You have access to everything within any of that that's embodied within every existence.
And is this a process that happens naturally to all of the energy from the sun, or is there something that humans can do and activate and remember everything?
It's possible to activate and remember everything if that's within your life path and that is your life contract. There used to be a more active, and what she's being shown is like the active gurus, or like even Jesus, or all the like mystics or gurus that you've seen in times that have seemed to have enlightenment. They have their DNA strands are clear and activated. So they have remembrance. And that's the only difference between them and others, is that the activation of the DNA. Now, the energy from the sun and everything that's helping you guys is to help. It's like a seed. We were showing Carrie this imagery earlier. It's like a seed pod, right? Like you can have a packet of dried seeds that you can have, when stored properly, can sit for a long, long time. And all it takes is for you to put it in soil, give it a little bit of water and some sun, and that seed now starts to become and activate and become part as that plant and grow. And it's the same thing, that DNA with the right nourishment can activate and can grow. And it's not dead, it's just dormant.
And what will be the right nourishment?
So
is it something we can know?
Yeah, so being in alignment, the sun is beautiful. Just being like we're kind of like you can do all the things you can do. Like we're kind of showing Carrie that it has to have assistance from the outside right now. Like we're there, like we need help from the outer realms right now to activate that, because there are stuff kind of working against us on the inner realm. So we can do the best we can to align ourselves, to drink tons of water, to get sunshine, like, you know, mind, body, spirit, to do as much as you can. But we also just are in need of outside help. Like we can only do so much unless it's in our life contract right now, just because the environment of the planet that is very toxic.
Okay, thank you. And around, like, how would a human that has the DNA activated and be in New Earth? Is it the same? Like, will everybody like that reaches a fifth dimensional frequency will have the potential of a guru or like a Jesus Christ energy or level of being?
Right.
Or will it be different? Everybody will have their own flavor, and how would people work, or how will they live in the New Earth once they have all of the DNA strands activated?
Yeah, so it'll be, you all have your different personalities, and even your higher selves have different personalities. And so you'll be activated to what naturally brings you joy and what you naturally want to experience. Not everything's going to look the same. However, you are going to have remembrance. You are going to be accessing the Akashic and the information. And you're going to be able to access other people's as well. And it's going to be an experience that we can explain to as best as we can, but until you're there and experiencing it, it's going to be hard for you to understand. But it's going to be, for those of you who have ascended and are have come down on this earth, it'll be more like a remembrance. It's not going to be something hard to do. But for humanity who's been trying to evolve to the fifth dimension, it's going to be a new thing. And so those who have ascended masters that are here right now on earth helping this ascension of the fifth dimensional planet, you're going to also be supporters and helpful to humanity who's never been fifth dimensional before, and support them and kind of do a buddy system, like help them and get them more comfortable, teach them how to manifest, telecommunication, telepathy. You're going to teach them all those things because it's a remembrance for you. You've already done this. It's for humanity, it's a learning. They've never done this before.
And so if I understand correctly, the plan is that in a natural way, people that are masters will have the remembrance, and then afterwards they will teach the rest of the humanity that are not yet ascended masters.
Correct.
And is there any timelines? Do you know, like, how long will this process be?
There's varying timelines. For some, it will come soon, and for others, it will be delayed a little bit longer for them to learn some lessons by being left behind. So it'll happen in stages, but soon. We've given time before, and it freaks people out, and so we don't want to provide a date.
Yeah, fair enough. And does this mean that is this happening in our lifetimes, or will it take more generations as well?
Oh, your lifetime.
Okay. And is this an important year for a lot of the people that are already ascended masters to have a remembrance of this, or is still going to have more years that are important? This is not necessarily the most crucial one. It's just there's a lot of saying around this being a midpoint and a choice point for a lot of people, or people in the light worker community.
We like the definition choice point rather than midpoint, because midpoint is not accurate, but Yeah, choice point for sure. If you want to attune to that frequency to be able to teleport to that place.
So this means that in the end, the only thing we can do if we want to activate more our DNA and remembrance would be just to have patience and try to be as much as we can in our joy, drink water, be in nature, enjoy the sunlight. Is this correct?
Yes. Yes. And the most important thing, unconditional love. That is the most powerful frequency. That the unconditional love is the most powerful frequency that you can embody at this time. And unconditional love naturally attunes and aligns to all those things you stated. Unconditional love to self, unconditional love to others. Love is the frequency that you want to attune to.
And is there anything that can, like, there's still a lot of programming and, as you mentioned, some overlays and interferences. Is there anything we should, in the most loving way, because wherever you give your attention, you act like you create more energy around it. But is there anything that can be avoided, or like in order like to embody more of the unconditional love?
I think in avoidance is resistance. And so what we can say is that anything that needs to be across your path will come across your path, and just you can come from a place of unconditional love or neutrality. You can blast that thing with unconditional love. It can look really, really horrible right in front of you. And if you are balanced in unconditional love for yourself, you're going to be from a heart space. And it's like we're showing Carrie the Care Bears movie, like where you're just like blasting with unconditional love. And now all of a sudden there's like, in that story that you're a part of, now what once looked horrific, like now has just this bright love. It has flowers everywhere. It's not such a scary story. Now you're shedding light on that darkness, and now you're allowing the light to heal and penetrate and to evolve.
It sounds beautiful. And around this, I have another question. You said that there's still some lessons and to be learned and challenges, and there's always been a discussion around like how much would you feel and process, and how much will you try to transmute it with unconditional love. Meaning, you know, when it comes to, let's say, childhood trauma or people that hurt you, is there a process where you feel the feels, and then once you feel the feels, you place it with unconditional love? Or does it have to be maybe a meditation or discipline to see love in everything that comes around you and all the challenges and what is happening around?
Unconditional love is flowing. To ask whether to feel something or not feeling it is resistance. And because if you're not feeling something, you're resisting it and you're not in flow. And you have to feel things. You can't, like, to come to this earth, that you're not going to have the same, a lot of these lower density emotions won't exist within other realms. And so when you came here, you kind of wanted to play with these densities and these emotions, because you're an ascended master. You're like, I got this, I can handle this. But in reality, when you get down here with the amnesia effect, it's a lot harder than you would think. So you have to go through those emotions, you have to feel them and honor them. And you also have to remember unconditional love for self. And even if there are times you want to, if you need to feel the feelings of being a victim, like it feels bad, it does not feel good, honor that victimhood, honor that emotion, but move through it. It's when you resist it that then you become a victim to everything within your life. And now you're not honoring that original source feeling. You're just slowly seeding out that feeling in every experience that you have. And instead of just like, yes, honor the emotions when they come, allow them to have space, don't repress them. Be in that place of accepting that is the feeling you have, but remember you're an ascended master. And once you've felt that emotion, remember that unconditional love, that you're still okay, that you're still safe, that emotion didn't kill you, that the emotional is there to just remind you of your power and your strength to move forward. That is what is important in all of that, is not to resist those emotions or feelings, but to flow with them and to wake up that dormant DNA and remember you're Akashic, that you're an ascended master and you've got this.
So, and is it possible? Are there people, ascended masters, that sometimes can get lost in the emotions and forget unconditional love?
Yes.
And will there be a way or a tool or something to prevent that from happening? If it makes sense, the question. Because sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes I know a lot of people, and probably including myself, sometimes you can get lost for a long time in very dense emotions. And if there's anything, like, how can you find that balance? Or is this something that every soul should master in the end? Or
right.
Or you might not.
We'll answer that in the first question and the second question. So as far as preventing something happening, we cannot prevent anything happening because this is a free will planet. And this is a cause and effect planet, kind of, in a way. And so that was the law of non-intervention, is we're not allowed to intervene. That's why you guys have to ask us for help, because we can't step in and help unless you ask. And so prevention is something we can't do unless it is something that goes against Gaia's free will, because her free will cannot be compromised either. And so the second part of that question is, how do we help light workers? Well, we have so many healers, and we have so many ascended masters that are there doing the modalities like you guys are doing different modalities, the energy healing. There's so many people there that are trying to help. But once again, it's free will. So the best thing is to advise anyone, any light worker, any ascended master, any humanity that wants to have connection with us, wants to have connection with source, you've got to ask for it. So the most simple thing you can do is ask for help. Ask for help from us, ask for healing, ask for whatever you need, answers to questions, anything like that. When you start asking, you're going to have a better connection with your guides. Every time you ask and we answer, we're going to have a better connection. That's why prayer within the religious community is so important, because you're asking a question, and then meditation, you're sitting there and you're receiving the answer. And because we can't, the law of intervention, the best way is to execute your free will and ask whatever you need.
And when we ask, we'll receive the most beautiful and empowering help, I'm assuming. Like, meaning asking is not a sign of going back sometimes. It's actually, you are here to help, and it's okay to ask, and maybe even every day, to go through all of this and get assistance.
Yeah, the more you can think of us like a friend that we talk to on the phone every day, the more that we will communicate you through everything that you do.
Thank you so much.
Like, sometimes we have to resort to just sending people feathers because they're so disconnected from us. We're like, we'll send them a feather, we'll send them a bird, a dove, we'll send them anything, we'll send them all these great signs, because we're like, we're here, just call us, we're here. And and then finally they'll be like, oh, I got a sign today, and we're like, yes, they saw it, we finally got through them. And it's like, then you're like, oh, what's the spirituality about? Oh, what's a chakra? And then all of a sudden, oh, there's a higher self. And we're like, God, we have to get to you through that, so many different layers to get you to realize that we're here and we've always been here.
Yeah. Also, there's another thing, just double checking, because I personally encounter this a lot when we talk about living life in a quantum way. At one point, you have this thing of like tuning into the frequency, but then if you ask, that means you don't have it, and then you cannot tune to that frequency. But then in the end, one doesn't eliminate the other. You can still tune into a frequency, and you can still ask for help from your guides and ascended masters and the healing teams and higher levels, right?
Yes,
without,
because
yeah.
it's belief too. If you ask and you believe that by asking, you're not able to tune in that frequency, you're not going to tune in that frequency because your belief. If you ask with an open heart, accepting that we're here to help you and that we will help you and we'll place you exactly where you need to be, then everything will flow your way.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. And definitely it happens. Is this now a period where manifestation happens more quickly and the
Yes.
help is easier to make? Is this because of the frequency, or what's changed?
Yes, it's because the frequency of that's coming off the sun, the frequency that we're providing is attaining access to more of the quantum access to all realities. And so when you manifest, you're able, the veil's thinner between the wall, we would say, between the quantum and all that exists, and between third dimensional is thinned. And so you have more of an access to that information.
Wow. Okay, thank you. And can you tell us also around healing and moving towards fifth dimensional state, the role of plant medicine and psychedelics? How much they're helping or not, or how can they be used for the better?
Yes, so we're showing Carrie that you actually do have chemicals within the brain that that can be released naturally without plant medicine in your physical bodies now to create that state. And um, when you have more of an access to the higher consciousness, you naturally let those chemicals in your brain release. And so you're able to access all that you would access within plant medicine. But plant medicine is something that you are able to partake in. However, the plant's organic, the earth's not, new earth's not going to be tainted with the chemicals or plastics or the like we're showing Carrie nuclear waste or anything like that within the fifth dimensional planet. So it'll be more organic and it'll be more attuned, and it'll be more of it won't be like you experience now.
Mm-hmm. And if somebody, it doesn't matter how often somebody consumes it, can it affect it in a more like unhelpful way than helpful if it's consumed too often or not in a ceremonial space, or it doesn't matter in the end?
It would be intention. If you have intention, if you, first of all, if you do it without intention, you have a 50-50 shot of it being healing or it just being a journey. And if you, what is the intention? Now, is the intention for recreational? I just want something cool to look at, or is the intention for I want this to be more enlightening, more opening? Anything you do with you coming forward will be intention set. And so, if the intention is to numb or avoid, or just to be in euphoria, to not deal with the emotions within this world, is the intention to help me step back from my emotions, to heal, to see it from a different perspective. I think you have to look at it really the frequency of what the medicine is being taken for. And then the medicine becomes very intuitive of what it needs to heal once you have an intention set.
Okay, thank you so much. And are there any substances that can actually damage the nervous system, or is just around the intention?
Intention for one, we say non-organic substances carry that frequency of the chemical of that's not, it's artificial.
Okay, so for everyone who wants to heal through plant medicine, it's really important to have them organic ones.
As organic as possible. Unfortunately, here on Earth, though, the Earth that you're on, that it is not. I mean, nothing's even organic's not organic. The soil has stuff in it, even when there's not something sprayed directly on it. It's just, that's why we're having to heal this earth and to evacuate people, because there's so much that's been done and penetrated that it's just you can, though, however, hold something within your hands and heal that. So even the food you eat, you can hold it between your hands and send it love and healing and high vibration and removal of anything harmful. And you can, to as best as you can, like raise the vibration and cleanse that way as well.
Okay, thank you so much for this. And are there areas on Earth that are more clean than other ones, or the whole Earth is equally polluted?
Whole earth, because it's connected by water and the water is damaged.
Oh, okay. And again, with the water, in order to clean it, we can still hold it in between our hands and sending love and healing and blessings.
Absolutely, you should do that always. It raises the frequency. You consume that frequency. That frequency runs within your blood, your cells, and that helps raise your vibration.
And so another question was to confirm. So right now, the Earth's frequency is very low, and the best way to go through all these changes will be to connect more to the sun than the Earth.
Yes, we're actually saying the Earth's frequency is high as it's ever been because of the assistance from the sun. The frequency within the suns. I mean, you're seeing so much solar weather, you're seeing sunbursts, you're seeing solar flares, you're seeing energy come from the backside of the planet, from us, you're seeing all this stuff. So the Earth's frequency is as high as it's ever been. However, it's also whatever your intention is. If you believe that the Earth's frequency can ground you to a higher frequency, we suggest to set the intention to be grounded to 5th dimensional or higher. You could even ask the intention to be grounded to 7th dimensional frequency. That way, by grounding to that frequency within either the Earth or the sun, we do suggest the sun though, but by grounding to whatever frequency, you're going to naturally raise your frequency because it's like going to naturally draw that energy into you and throughout your body.
Oh, okay, thank you so much for explaining this. And everything is around intention. And do the trees or the waters, like the ocean, have a certain role, or depends on the intention we have when we connect with them or being them in any body of water? At one point, there was this advice around being in the body of water, for example, for cleansing, but then now I'm hearing that actually the waters are not as clean. So then it's really important to have an intention and a blessing.
Yeah, you can have just the intention to connect with the higher frequency and send love and healing to all water. You can connect to a tree, send love and healing, help raise its vibration, send love and healing to the water. Everything that is here at this time, the souls that have came to incarnate within the cells of the trees and the water and the plants and everything that you see are a lot higher of a vibration of beings, way ascended masters. And so they're coming in knowing the density they're going to with those toxins within everything that they're connected to. So they're able to maintain the frequency of a higher vibration, because even if it draws them down, say you're a frequency of a 50 and the earth is drawing you down. So it draws you down to the frequency of a 30, but then everyone else is a 10. So you're still a higher vibration than the rest of everybody else. And so you still hold a higher vibration. But if you were like a 10 and you went to hold the life of a water, and then you had lower vibration of the toxins, you would then be like a 2. Does that make sense?
Yes, makes a lot of sense.
So they're a lot of a higher frequency incarnate souls that are embodying the energy of those things. And so they're able to still hold a higher frequency.
Is it possible to know where Carrie and I are right now? Or is it
you guys are both ascended. No, you guys are ascended masters. We're not. I mean, I think the ego wants a number, but what we'll assure you is
no.
Yeah. But you guys have ascended. You guys are enlightened beings. You guys have, as far as dimensional, like I'm showing I'm showing like 7, 8 dimensional, but yeah, you guys are ascended masters for sure.
So that means we can actually work with the land and the waters to raise their vibration. And sometimes if it's a really low vibration of the environment, we need to work with that and calibrate ourselves and the environment.
Yes, but they're already holding that high vibration as much as you want.
Okay.
The best thing you can do is raise your vibration, because if you're a lower vibration, you're trying to send healing to these bodies of earths and trees, but you still are feeling like lower vibration, you might connect with that energy and lower their vibration.
Okay. So in the end, the earth still has a very high vibration and can have a higher vibration than humans, but they're not at a fifth dimensional vibration yet. But we can attune to the sun to embody more higher vibration. And I think it's also, I heard it's very important to clear our solar chakra. So then probably work with the sun for our to clear and energize our solar chakra to increase our intuition.
Yes, it's got light codes in it that are helping to work with the Akashic within your DNA.
Is there another way to work with the Akashic records? Are there like invocations or good tool if you want to expand and connect to the Akashic records?
We suggest that connect with your higher self and then ask your higher self the questions to the Akashic.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Then this is more simple than we think.
Yeah, because you can go straight to the Akashic, but then you're still missing that connection with us. And so we want that connection with you. We want to help. And so we have foresight that you don't have. We can see more than you can see. We can see the realm. So let us help in all areas. If you have a question, ask us. We'll help you.
Yes, thank you so much. And there was another question. Oh, so around frequency, can you tell more around partnership and how will this look going forward, and also how can we connect with partners in a way that doesn't lower the frequency, or how does it look in the new earth, or more of a high vibrational state of being?
Well, in the new earth, you won't see yourself lacking. There'll be a need to be together in the sense of co-creation of new life. And you'll still have partners you'll want to spend time with, like you would have friends here on earth, and you'll still want to experience that unconditional love, but you will all have access to unconditional love for one another, that it won't be a territorial partner thing. It'll be more or less a free-flowing thing. Like, I want to spend, when you have much longer lifespans, do you really want to spend 500 years with the same person? How do you learn or as like master things? And there may be some that their partners will be 500 years, and but how do you the stagnancy is what won't exist. It's all going to be free flowing. And so you may or may not have multiple partners, and your partner may be okay with that, because they just know whatever you're gaining from that other person is an act of love, and they're not going to, jealousy won't exist.
Oh, that's beautiful. And when it comes to sexual relations, especially now, is it something that can influence, or in the end it doesn't matter as much how you connect or with whom?
It'll be more of an energetic relations, as far as like even just that connecting your energy. You still you could have physical, in the sense it's not the same density as it is here, but it's more or less going to be an energetic connection. An energetic orgasm is what Carrie heard. Interesting. Yeah, but you also, like, here on Earth, you guys tend to find a partner because you're lacking wholeness within self. And that won't be existence. You'll have wholeness
Hmm.
within self there. So it'll be more of an intentional, like, I choose this partner because, you know, um, you're not needing anything from them. It's going to be an addition to your life versus
Hmm.
needing them to be there. Like,
Okay.
you see qualities and or there's like a being that wants to come and have existence within New Earth. And they're like, okay, we're on the waiting list. We need someone to help us create a body so we can go. And so you find someone that energetically connects so you can draw in the energy of that being that is on the waiting list to be co-created with a New Earth. And so you find that person with those qualities and you come together and create a new body that uh, being that wants to come into Earth can embody. You guys do the same thing on Earth too. You're just not as conscious of it.
Wow. Yeah. And we have a lot of like emotion attached to it, I guess.
Yeah. When
Oh,
it's really, you're
yeah.
just bringing another being into this Earth that was on the waiting list.
Can you tell us more about Helios Gamos? What is that? It came to my mind right now around partnerships.
What was that question?
Can you tell more around Helios Gamos? I think it's called. It's a way of connecting with partners or something that has been forgotten. Uh, I just heard about it, and I don't know if you know anything or want to expand on this one.
We're not pulling up anything on that.
Okay, cool, no problem. And another thing I want to ask around now and frequency and uh, moving forward, it's the abundance. And for example, how would that work? Trying to, um, especially for ascended master or for masters here, or how can how can one assist and still have everything provided? And now there are a lot of like imbalances in the world as well. And how can this be more like, does it need healing, or how will this look going forward?
Right. So, like we said, right now, the reason manifestation happens is because that wall between the quantum of all possibilities and the third dimensional has been thickened. When you go to a
Mm-hmm.
fifth dimensional planet, abundance manifestation becomes more attainable because that wall is very, very thin. And like, we're not even showing a wall, it's almost like a transparency, like a transparent
Wow.
film. And so you have to be in alignment with mind, body, soul, with your thoughts, with your heart, with your actions to manifest. And that is one thing that humanity is going to have a very, very hard time doing with manifestation. So at first, there will be the embodiment of like stores and everything like that for when humanity does go to the fifth dimension, that they're able to go and attain the physical things that they need. But in the meantime, the ascended masters are going to help guide the humanity into manifestation, into it becoming accessing all within the quantum, within their existence at that here and now moment. And so that'll be a trained thing. It'll take some time, some deprogramming for that to. So at first, there will be physical things that you're able to access, but it's money doesn't exist. It's all energy. So energy will be the currency, and it will. That will be how the stores are interacted with. So that'll also encourage us, whatever the like, you're going to be of service for some time during your day, and then you're going to also have your free time. And so whatever your energy is, that currency that you carry will be able to be what you can use to access the higher things. So if you're being of service and you're staying in alignment and you're doing all these things, you're going to have a bigger like energy bank account, so you'll be able to manifest those higher dimensional things very quickly. And if you're kind of off balance and you're not, your energy frequency bank accounts on the low side, you're only going to be manifest to that energy bank until you have become in alignment. And that's what will encourage people to just be in an alignment in the natural state that they always should be in.
So as let's say ascended master in training right now, one of our challenges right now is to try to learn manifestation from an energetical point of view, not necessarily from a linear 3D point of view.
Right. So you're not learning, you're remembering.
Yeah, okay, remembering it. Because, for example, one of my personal struggles was around you cannot have it all. You cannot do you have to go more, like a lot of my advice from external has been that you have to go more linear. You have to have a work, and you cannot just manifest things from the joy and from the flow, because things don't work right now like this on earth. But this is one of the things that we need to remember, how to play with energy and manifest things on earth, and somehow way show on this side as well.
Right. So like we said, all things start with an intention. Be clear with your intentions of what you want. And whether it be a physical item or a physical thing or a physical way you want to see yourself, have that as the intention of what you want to be guided to, and stay in connection with us so that we can actually do our job and guide you. Stay in connection with yourself, because that is what we are, is the higher self. Stay in connection with unconditional love, because everything that's of higher frequency exists within unconditional love, and nothing of the lower frequency exists within there. And everything else, connect the dots, but you have to have an intention. And when you forget, remind yourself, like when you forget your intention, you don't stay guided by that, is harder to access, because now you're just willy-nilly going with every which way the wind blows. So we're not telling you to stay, we're not telling you to stay like laser focused in a way that becomes like it's either this or nothing, but we're saying kind of be in balance of unconditional love, be in balance of intention of what you want, and make sure it's of the highest frequency, and maintain your connection with us, because we will guide you.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And another question was that if we go and look at our past and send unconditional love and healing, is this affecting our current timeline, or can we actually change our timeline doing this?
Yes, you change your timeline by accessing a higher timeline.
Do we need to go in?
When you send unconditional love, we're showing you're like almost rooted. When you have past traumas or past hurts or past pains, you almost have roots within that pain. So you're connected to that lower density timeline. So when you go back and heal and release that root and that connection to that timeline, and you send it unconditional love, you actually release your grounding and your anchoring in those lower dimensions, so you're able to rise higher. When you are grounded to lower density, you can only, when you're rooted in that lower density emotion, you can't raise to the higher frequencies, because you have a connection that is connecting you and holding you down. When you go and you send love, you send healing, you acknowledge, you honor, you accept, but realize that's not a definition of one soul. You now cut your connection, your anchor to that density, and you now release yourself to higher timelines. You now release yourself to higher frequencies, to higher access to things.
And when it comes to, let's say, free will, and still, like how much we are walking a path, and how much can we change by, like, how, like, can we go into like a lot of healing work to change completely the life, or there are some things that are meant to happen?
There are some things within your soul contract that are meant to happen. When and how they happen are what your free will guides. That's what they call rock bottom. When you keep on trying to give you lessons and things you want to encounter within your life and emotions and things you want to master, and you numb or diverge, or you just don't want to connect with actually mastering that emotion, eventually that's what people go to is rock bottom, because they have nothing else and they have to feel it. They have to experience that emotion. They have to experience that thing. And then once you do, we're able to clear it, and we're able to move forward and give you knowledge and wisdom. And you're able then to go within new experiences. So the caution, like the life experiences that you wanted to master on this earth, and there are certain life experience of encounters with other beings, with other people that you want to meet on certain timelines within your, those things we are here and guiding and making sure that whatever life contract and whatever things you want to experience and master, that you're able to. However, the timing of it is where your free choice comes into play. Do you want to learn it the easy way? Do you want to learn it the hard way? Otherwise, we're going to make sure we do our job and allow you to master whatever lesson you wanted to master. We're going to do whatever we can. When and how that happens is up to you.
So, can it be as also a part of a master on this earth? Can you have in your contract to hit rock bottom a few times in order to master it and teach or help other people that cannot do that? Or is it just
Yes.
you go there because you cannot choose the easy way?
Yes, because there are certain things that hitting rock bottom is because you can't have empathy and understanding for others unless you've experienced it yourself. So there are many light workers that have, you would think that the way you all have put light workers as is you're supposed to have like, you're supposed to look the part. You're supposed to look the part. You're supposed to be the part. Oh, love and light and beauty. And I am light. I am love, twinkle dust, fairy dust. And we laugh because how do you understand and go into those dense places and shine the light if you don't experience them yourself and you don't shine the light within yourself? So absolutely what you're saying is valid, is that most light workers have the rockiest of lives because they are ascended masters and they can handle it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
And they have to understand, have empathy for humanity when they need to be light workers, is because they've experienced it themselves.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the clarification.
You're welcome.
And also around moving forward and healing modalities. I was wondering around BQH and the role of it, how useful it is, or is it going to be more useful in the future as well? Right now, it feels like a little bit still growing, like a little seed.
Yes, it is very useful, and it's a way to access the things and to help people have connection with what they will naturally have a flow connection with in the future. So it is definitely a beautiful tool. It is a beautiful connection with us that is just uninhabited with other outside thoughts, and it is a great tool that we're so excited that is placed there for humanity at this time.
Is there any other tools or anything else you are excited about?
We're excited about anything that, like that puts people in alignment and balance, like the yoga that you do. That's beautiful. It takes time for meditation, for breath, for giving those cells in that body some alignment, and whatever is the healing modalities that we are putting forth to really what they call holistic medicine or alternative. The alternative is our norm. So we're excited about the new norm medicine.
Oh, thank you. And there there were some things around somehow disempowering or people doing energy healing. Like, what is the importance of doing that? Because it's a different way. You're still co-creating with the person, but then it's still giving something that they don't already mastered somehow, no? Or is it something that can be of assistance?
Energy healing is beautiful. Everything's energy. You guys all see it as density, but it's still energy. So energy is energy is energy. So the more healing and love and that we can do for all energy just raises the vibration of everything within the galaxies, within the planets, within all existence. So to do energy work is a beautiful modality that even though you can't see it with the eyes, if you close your eyes, connect with your heart, you feel it.
Yeah. And is this something that a person can do practice to help others, or is it disempowering
It is, as
for
long as
them?
the other person's free will is wanting to receive it.
And will it be, do you have any advice around how to help or teach people to work with energy, or this is something can be done in an intuitive way once you master that or feel the energy?
When someone is open to working with energy and they connect, close their eyes, they connect with they open up in love, unconditional love, and just create that space around them, and they open their heart and they just naturally just accept whatever is to come is to come. Once they become in that place of acceptance and unconditional love and just openness, it will all flow. But if not, you can then see where your barriers are and what you need to work on within self so that you're more open to those things happening.
Okay, thank you. And I was wondering if you could let us know what are the capabilities we can have or develop in the following years that are assisting the new Earth or that are more of a fifth dimensional frequency, or is it something that is still not there yet?
The capabilities are, once you accept that everything's energy, you're going to actually unlock the capabilities to everything.
Makes sense for me right now.
Yeah. So once you accept everything's energy, whoop, you can see and you can teleport. And once you accept everything's energy, you now can connect and have telepathy. Once you accept everything's energy, you can now harness the powers of the energy around you because you accept his energy, you're in flow with it, you're in unison. So once you are in alignment and just seeing everything as energy, and you're then you can read and move with all energy.
So if one knows that this is true and somehow feels it with their heart, but still cannot do that, what does that mean? Is that means it's still not completely comprehended or needs different?
That yeah, that means you need to ask her herself. Hey,
Oh,
what do I need to feel, or what do I need to know? Where are my blocks? That means that all that means is it's a great opportunity for you to connect with us.
wow! Thank you again for that message.
Yeah.
And um, can you explain more in invocation and the meaning of I am the I am presence? What is the power? Why do we say I am the I am presence? And sometimes you can continue, and I'm one with Mother, Father God.
Yes. So I am is a invocation to your God energy. God doesn't ask for permission. God is.
Mm.
And so when you're doing that, you're connecting to that. And whatever you state after that, you're now that quantum realm of all existence. You're now grabbing from that existence and you're anchoring it into this dimensional planet. And so all existences exist. So when you, whatever you say after you're stating your acknowledgement of your God source, that you are God source having an experience on this planet. Once you connect with, your power, then when you, whatever you say after that, you're connecting to the existence of all existences and you're anchoring it here in the world. So you're acknowledging, I'm God. I'm God having an experience, and this is what I want to experience. I am love. I'm God. I'm God having an experience here, and I am love.
Thank you so much. And
Yeah. So don't forget you are a source of the creator. Don't forget you're empowered. Don't forget that you don't need to fear things. And when you attach to those fears and those worries and those concerns, that you're attaching to those and manifesting that. So just remember how powerful you are. Remember, this is all a beautiful experience that God's wanting to have within your incarnate.
Just double checking, because I think sometimes as masters here, we forget how powerful we are and what will be the best way to tap into that power.
Ask
I'm
us.
remembering. Ask us what? Okay.
Ask us and just have an open heart to receiving it.
Okay. And this is something that has been coming up lately. It has been a triangle and trinity. What is the significance of it, and how can we use it?
So the sacred geometry of the 369 of the three.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So you said mother, father, God, right? There's three there, right? The Trinity, the three, the sacred number of all things. Very healing, very powerful.
And how can we use that? I personally see it sometimes in meditations. I see the triangle of light.
Well, when you see that, you can personally ask for it to show you what you need to see.
Okay.
Because the answer for that is going to be different for all beings.
Yeah, and I also know other people who they're very attracted to the triangle and the trinity, but don't know why. We don't know why.
Right.
Yeah.
Mind, body, soul. That's Trinity. It's a sacred number. And we're going to ask